Come and sew with me. Let's get social. You know it ain't that hard to do. Let's get social.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Welcome to Let's Get Social Live. And as promised, we are not going to be sewing any garments. After I'm still like 80% finished kind of doing some spring cleaning and going through. And as I mentioned, I did 3 industrial bags to Goodwill and moved some stuff into storage. And I am still feeling a little bit like, yes, you don't need another item in your closet. And so we today are actually going to be making a zipper pouch. And we are using a designer. Let me tell you who this is. This is So Can She. They have free sewing patterns for beginners, and this is a boxy zipper pouch. And there is a pattern available for this, but she gives you the measurements. Hey Dee, how are you? Happy Friday. But she gives you the measurements, and so we went with the measurements so that we did not have to cut a pattern out. But there is a pattern if you feel like you need one. So a couple of the things that you need, you can actually use scrap fabric to make this, or you can use a fat quarter. You will need 2 of them. Or if you are going to use fabric, the suggestion is, and I want to charge my phone. So I realized like I'm going to be using my phone. So I need to go get another charger for my phone. So if you are going to be just cutting it from scrap fabric, the suggestion is that you will need, and I wrote it down, you will need 1/4 of a yard of scrap fabric. And so once you have either your fat quarters or your scrap fabric, you are going to cut, because you need 2 fat quarters, or if you're going to use that 1/4 piece of 1/4 piece of scrap fabric, you are going to cut, where is it? Oh yeah, okay, here you go. So you're going to cut each piece, you're going to cut 2 pieces of 16 by 14.5-inch rectangles, basically is what you're going to cut. Now, the part that didn't make sense a little bit to me, or I got confused by, so they said if she said if you're going to use fat quarters, you're going to cut 2 16 by 14.5-inch. But it says if you're going to be using the 1/4 yard of fabric, then you're going to cut 2 9-inch by 26-inch wide pieces. And so these seem like these 2 measurements don't add up to be the same thing if you're going to do one versus the other. So the only thing I could think of is that if you're using fat quarter, then your bag might be a little bit smaller, because there is not a way that you could get 26 inches out of a fat quarter, because it's not 26 inches. So that's the only thing I could think of. And so and I'll put the link up, but if you do follow the instructions, the sizing instructions from that point forward follow the size of if you use a 1/4 yard of fabric, sorry. So we're going to be kind of winging it a little bit, because the instructions for additional cuts that we have to do are based on that. We won't be doing that because we used fat quarter and we cut from that. So what you're looking at right now is my fat quarter cut into that 16. I actually did 16 by 15, I think is what I did. I think that's what this is, 16 by 15 instead of 14.5. So, and then the other thing that I want to tell you that you do need is some, they recommended either, and I used a piece of fleece, but they recommended either stabilizer, quilt batting, or fusible fleece. And so I don't have any fusible fleece, but I just use regular piece of fleece, because we will be doing a kind of cross stitch of a quilt pattern on here. So in my mind, it doesn't need to be fusible because we are going to be doing a basting stitch to initially to kind of attach the pieces. And then we're going to be doing like a quilt design, and we're going to keep it pretty simple. So those are the things that you need. Oh, and then you need a zipper. And I'm actually, because even though you see this burgundy fabric, this actually was the fat quarter that I had used to cut the other fabric. I saw this in the bottom of my drawer. So I'm actually probably going to make something else out of this, but I'm going to use this fabric because I thought it was kind of fun. Hey, Shamir. Oh, D, it's not good at all. You can't really tell, but it is so hazy. So normally I can see, I don't know, you probably don't know these references, but I can see like all the way across, and I can barely see like John Hopkins, which is like 2 miles from me. So it's really, really bad here. And to make things worse, we're having some kind of algae bloom in the water. So I don't have a sense of smell, so I can't smell it. But what I hear from other people is that it smells like rotten eggs or whatever outside. And the water is green. And they sent like a little message out saying basically that there might be some like, you know, some like fish and stuff that might like die off or whatever as a result. But it's like the combination of that and the combination of like what's going on with the water in the harbor and the sky, it's like it's not great outside. It is just, yeah. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I drove earlier to another area and I was like, oh my goodness, it's worse here. So yeah. How about, oh, you said it's a little bad in DC. Yeah, it is. And in the morning, it feels like it's even worse in the morning. It feels like it's even worse. Like I feel like I can see more now than I can see in the morning. But yeah, it's definitely, and I think on top of that, I think we're having like a little bit of like what I would call like the greenhouse effect, because the sun did not come out, but it was still, yesterday was even worse than today. It was actually more humid, more warmer than yesterday and today. Today was actually, it was a little bit better, but still really humid. So we'll see what's happening. And then I know. And then to make things worse. So today I went outside to grab some food and I saw those dangling lantern flies outside. Did y'all get those last year? The lantern flies, those spotted lantern flies. I saw 2 of them and I thought, oh my goodness, hopefully maybe because of what's going on with the wildfires, they won't come out. But I said, oh, this is the end of my summer. I do not go outside when those things are flying around. No, I do not. No, I don't. No, I don't. So anyway, a couple other things that we're going to be using today. Oh, you said you don't see them there. Hi, Lady Angel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So a couple other things. Safety pin to help us turn our bag. And then I think that's it. So this bag also has like a little side pocket and a little tab. I'm not sure yet whether we're going to add those items. We're going to see how much confusion or how confused I get with what we have to do. Oh, and by the way, I just want to tell y'all, I did go out. Not go out. Go out is the wrong word because I did not go out. But I did order a Trillium, because they're in these bins, but I was not taking them down. I ordered Trillium ball point needles. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted y'all to know I did do that. Followed your recommendation. So I did do that. Okay, so I think we have, you know what? Somebody else just said that to me too that day. It does grow fast. Super, super, super fast. Super fast. That's why I've never been like hesitant not to cut my hair. I do like my hair long, but I got to get some ginger ale. I'm having problems with my voice. I think y'all know that by now. I'm going to have to, because my voice is like what I do for a living. I'm going to have to go get my tonsils out. I'm gonna have to get my tonsils out. So in the meantime, I've been buying ginger ale to help clear my throat, because otherwise, if I talk a little bit, then I'll lose my voice. And the ginger ale, those bubbles, they just kind of clear everything up, even though this is flat, because I only drink it when my voice gets, and then I put it in the refrigerator. So I need to get one of those little caps so I can not waste money. But yeah, it definitely, it grows super, super fast for sure. Like that. My hair's always been that way. I've always been fortunate that my hair has grown. Like even times where there were times in my life where I shaved all my hair off. I've had like the little blonde Halle Berry hair, and like I have to keep coloring it. That's one of the reasons why I stopped coloring my hair. I colored my hair forever, and then when the pandemic happened, it was stressful for me because my hair, is, you can see, is this silver, and I dyed my hair black for a billion years, and that silver would just come peeking through, and I would just constantly be coloring my hair like every week, and it was just too stressful because then I didn't want to go anywhere, and I was like, I'm over it. So when the pandemic happened and people weren't going outside, I got some braids and I let my hair grow out, and then I did one thing. I did a little bit of color so that I had an ombre effect, so it wasn't that like harsh line between the silver and the black. And once I did that, it was a wrap. Then it looked really good because it was like the silver was coming in and my hair was like a little bit of like dark brown and then the black, and it was just growing out that way. And that was probably the best thing I could have ever did. And I wish I would have did it 10 years ago, because I've been having gray hair since I was like 13. It's never been like obviously this long, but once I started noticing it, that's how long I've been coloring my hair, for a very long time. And I wish that I would have stopped 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. That's when I wish I would have stopped. Thank you, Angel. Hi, Melanie. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. You said it's too hot for hot tea. No, it's never too hot for hot tea. I love hot tea. I drink tea. I drink tea and coffee, but a lot of tea. The temperature doesn't matter. Look, it's so crazy. My boyfriend went to get a latte for me from Starbucks. No, Dunkin' Donuts. He comes back in here with a cold drink. And I'm thinking to myself, of course, like it was hot. It was like 100 degrees that day, but I wanted the hot drink because that's really what I drink. But everything happens for a reason, because it actually tastes really good. And so I got another one after that. And I've been drinking them probably more than I should after that. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna do this together. This is my first time making this bag. So we're making this pouch. Okay, so I will tell you, I already did the first step, which is to cut these 16 by 14.5-inch squares. You need 2 if you're doing the fat quarters, which is what I did. So I'm going to talk about it from that perspective. You need 2, and then you need 1. It says 1 piece of fleece, but mine is, even though it says heavy duty, and this is actually not fleece. It's, what did it say it was? Flannel. I guess flannel, fleece, whatever you have. Hey, Pam. So whatever you have, but I cut 2 just so it could have a little bit more thickness to it, but it calls for 1. So the very first thing that we're going to do after you cut that 16 by 14-inch piece, then you are going to baste stitch it around. Right side to the wrong side, or whatever side, because it's the flannel or whatever you're using for your kind of inside is going to be on the inside on both sides. So the best thing to do is to just make sure you line. I guess I don't have a perfect rectangle because this thing did not line up right. Terrible. You think you got a perfect rectangle and you don't. See, that's why I cut it a little bit larger, just in case. So now I'm going to do a basting stitch all the way around. And it actually tells us to do it twice, but I feel like I could just put clips all the way around and then just, oh man, I got to turn this over too. So actually what I'm going to do, so you're going to basically make sure that the right sides of your fabric are on the outside. Okay, there we go. All right, I think that's it. So these should all line up. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to use some clips and clip all the way around. And then I'm going to do a basting stitch all the way around. And then I'm going to actually do some diagonals across like a quilt. So while I'm doing this step, let me tell y'all what happened to me. So a couple days ago, last week, I took my son to the airport. And of course, I'm running late, you know, as usual. And I get in my car and my low tire signal was on. But it was still like, you know, saying it was like the 3 of the tires were at like 38, 36, 37. And then the low one was at like 32. So I was like, you know, it'll be fine. I'll drive. So I went to go pick up my son. And on my way to pick up my son, because I actually ended up making good time, I ended up stopping at the gas station and I put air in the tire. And I didn't actually know how much air I put in the tire because it didn't have like a meter on there to tell you like how much air, but I used that little, you know, sometimes when you put the air in, that little piece goes up and down. And so I just waited till it got to like 4 1/4. And I was like, okay, this is where I normally see it. And I'm just going to, you know, it's going to be enough. So I get in my car and psychologically, I feel like, oh, my car is fixed. I'm driving and it feels better, although I can't even really tell you whether it felt better or not. I think it was just psychological. Like my anxiety is like my tire is not going to blow out while I'm driving. So I take my son to the airport. I come back home and my tire is fine. I drive somewhere the next day. So that was Thursday. I drive somewhere on Saturday. I drive somewhere on Sunday, and no tire issue. And then I got to go pick my son up on Monday, and I get in the car and I know, and then my flat tire signal was on again, right? So I'm like, what in the world is going on? So, and so let me just back up a little bit. Initially, when my flat tire symbol was on, it was my back tire, my back driver's side tire. Then on Monday, when I get in my car, I'm thinking it's my front. So this time it was my front tire. And this time it was like 28. So I was like really nervous because of course I'm like leave out late again. I got to go pick my son up and I didn't want him standing out there. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try to make it. And of course I made it fine. I just drove a little bit slower. My car was like very upset with me because it was giving me all kinds of, you know, signals and warnings and warning messages. Talk about, I didn't even click on it, but I saw what they said afterwards, all the danger that I was in and blah, 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 which is true. I'm not minimizing it. I think it's probably true. But anyway, I'm driving my son back again, same time as before. I stop, put air in my tire. And this time, me and my son figure it out, like how I pull up the air, you know, how much the air pressure is in my car. We figure out how to pull it up because it comes up automatically when your car is low. But I didn't know how to pull it up just to randomly see what it was. So we figure it out. And it's like I put way too much air in the tires, but it wasn't like crazy. It was like instead of 36, 37, 38, it was like 42, 44, something like that. So, which is fine for my car because it actually has 2 different settings. If the car is full, it recommends that you actually have more air in your tire than if your car is empty. Anyway, my air in my tire was fine. That was on Monday. Took my son home, came back home. I was like, okay, fine. It was a different tire, whatever. So that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. My boyfriend and I are going to play Topgolf. I go downstairs and I'm driving. Like, I don't even look at my tires at this point because I'm like, it's fine. I'm getting in my car. I'm driving out of the garage and that light little thing comes on and it's red this time. And it says the air pressure on the front driver's side tire is 11. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I was feeling fine. I was driving, whipping my car. I was like, oh, no, we got to turn back around. I got to park my car. We're going to have to take your car, blah, blah, blah. So my boyfriend is like, be nothing. I was like, no, it's something. Trust me, it's something. So I said, let's just take the car back because I don't want us to get stuck, have to wait for AAA, all that stuff. So we get back and you could visibly see. So the other times you couldn't like visibly tell something was wrong with the car, the tire. It looked like it was inflated the same. This time you could actually visibly see that the tire was low. So we go play golf or whatever and come back, and I make an appointment with, with Mercedes to kind of get my car. But I need to loan a car because I got stuff to do. I had an appointment with my grandson, and I had other appointments that I had to do. And I was like, I'm not missing my appointment. So long story short, they couldn't give me a rental car until today. So I end up getting, they couldn't give me a loaner car. So, and they could take my car yesterday, but I need a loaner car. So I ended up getting a rental car yesterday, and I ordered, which I should have I ended up ordering a air pump and which I should have always had. My son had one, and I was like, I need to have one of these things. So I ended up ordering one. And so Thursday night, I ended up putting air in my tire, or Thursday afternoon, I put air in my tire, and I was like, I'm going to drive my car. I'm going to see if there's still air in there the next day. I'm going to drive my car. If not, I'll have my car towed. So I was telling everybody like what my plan was, and everybody was like, no, you shouldn't drive. It's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So of course that got my anxiety going, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get this car towed. But I go down there the next day, which was today, and I checked, and it still had like a decent amount of air in it. It was lower, but it wasn't like critical low. And so I was like, I was thinking to myself, I should drive it. But then of course, everybody's like, I really don't think you should drive, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what? This the universe telling me, like, I can't say like I didn't know. And of course, I would never want anybody else to be like injured or whatever as a result. So I end up calling AAA. This amazing man comes and, tows my car and gives me a ride to the Mercedes dealership. So I go to the Mercedes dealership. I'm telling them, what's going on. And pretty much I get at least 2 tires every time I get my car serviced, which is a whole other story yeah. So, and it's expensive. And I've just kind of like said, yeah, it is what it is. But I'm not happy about it. I don't like to think about it. It is what it is. So I expected to have to get 2 tires, to buy 2 tires. So the guy actually says to me, well, your tire is under warranty. So, which I didn't know it had a warranty. That actually made me kind of happy. I'm like, okay, if I'm paying all this money for these dang on tires, at least they got a warranty. They're going to last a little bit. So he was like, yeah, if it's just your tire, you'll just get a new tire. He said, but I'm going to tell you, you have these low profile tires, and Baltimore City has all these potholes. So if you've been hitting these potholes, your rim could be cracked. And that is not covered. And that is 3 times the price of the tire. So he's like, but you have the SUV, you're probably going to be fine. It's probably just going to be this tire. So he goes over my little maintenance plan with me and says, this is what your cost is going to be before we find anything else. And he didn't use that language, but that's what I heard. So I get back, I'm going about my day like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be the tire. That's great. And it's covered. I don't even have to buy that tire again. I just will buy my other 2 tires because I knew I was going to need the 2 back tires, because I got the 2 front tires replaced the last time. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be, but he said, we'll check them first before we tell you whether it's going to be the tires. But yeah, you're probably going to need tires. They use that little tread device or whatever to see where the tread is. So I get a little text and it says, your evaluation or whatever your thing is ready. I didn't check it right away because I was like, let me finish my meeting and then I will look at it. So I finished my meeting. I'm kind of still in a good mood thinking, oh, it's not going to be that, anything. I look at that thing and it was like $7,000. I about lost my mind because I was like, what in the world could be wrong with my car? What flat tire is $7,000? Like, what could it be equaling up to? So before I can even finish like looking at the thing, they called me. So I answer the phone, and it's my service person, and he's like, well, I guess he was like, how are you doing? I said, well, I just saw what you sent me. I'm not doing well at all. Like, I'm not doing well. Like, you just sent me this thing, so let's talk about it, right? So he was like, well, I know I told you I didn't think it was going to be the rim, but it is the rim. He was like, the rim was cracked, and you're going to need another rim because your tire won't hold air. He's like, the tire is actually okay, but it's the rim. So I'm like, well, I need to see a picture of it because I need to see for myself. I said, either I'm coming back down there or I need to see, I need to see this crack. So he's like, oh, I'll send you a picture of it or whatever. I'm like, okay. I said, because I said, well, if I don't have a choice. Basically what you're telling me is I have to get this rim replaced. So it's not even like I have a choice. Right. That's crazy, right? So I said, I want my rim. I said, I want it. And so he says to me, he says, oh, well, there might be an adjustment to the price because if you're keeping your rim, usually we give it to them and they recycle it and they take something off of your price. And I said, well, I need to see it because I'm not going to pay for something until I verify that the damage is there. Like, I need to see it. So I said, well, let me know if they are going to charge me more money if I keep my rim. And he was like, oh, yeah, they're going to charge you. So he texts me back and he says, this is the price that they're going to charge you. And it was like, $150 more. I said, well, I'm keeping my rim because my thing is, if you are going right, that's exactly what I thought. Oh, you didn't tell me about that before. I guess most people don't want it. Well, I need to see it's mine. And so the first thing that came to my mind, well, if they take it back, they're not throwing it away. They are repairing it and then probably selling it to somebody for half of the price. So guess what? I'm keeping my rim. I'm sure I could find somebody out here to fix it so that I can have a spare tire if I ever need one, because as y'all know, these cars don't come with spare tires anymore. And so when you do have a problem, then you have to figure it out. So I'm keeping it. I told him I'm keeping it. I'm like, you're not saving me enough money for me to give you my rim. I'm keeping the rim. I'll figure it out. So of course I called, my daughter's boyfriend who works on cars, and he's like, yep, I know somebody that knows somebody that can fix it for you. I'm like, I'll keep it right in my storage. I'm like, so I'm still like feeling really salty about the whole thing. But on top of that, I feel like the city, we pay taxes to have these potholes repaired. And I've never really but somebody's going to get a letter. Somebody about to get this cracked rim on their desk because I'm like, come on now. Who's got money for that? That is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so I put the basting stitch all the way around, and now I am going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw some lines, and then we're going to do some cross stitches across this to kind of create that quilt effect. And so for those that are just joining, we are doing a zipper pouch, and we just took our two pieces of fabric, one on each side. One is the inside, one is the outside when it's ultimately finished. And then there is some fleece or some type of, felt or something that you want in the inside. What did they recommend? They recommended, because I used flannel, but they recommended fleece or batting or, something else that you might want to use. I'm like, use whatever if you have something else. But that's what I use on the inside. So I'm about to draw some lines on here, and then we are going to do that stitching. So yeah, anyway, I was quite upset by that message that I got. I was quite upset by it. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I always know the bill is going to be high when I go. And the good news is that, it's once a year. It's not really that often it's once a year that you have to get the maintenance done. Thank goodness it's only once a year. But, it's just so expensive. I'm going to tell you, It makes me, I had a Maxima forever. And this was my dream car that I said I promised myself I was going to get. But I'm going to tell you something. I didn't have no problems with my Maxima. I drove that thing and passed it down to my kids. And I love that thing. And part of me is like, oh, if I ever have to get another car, I think that's where I'm going back to. But then the other part of me is like, are any cars good at these days? Like, I like every now and then will watch those car YouTube channels where they like tell you the 10 top best cars, and all of them got problems. Like even when I was riding with AAA, like I always thought Subaru, and that's not my kind of car. Like I'm not a Subaru person, but I have always heard that they have some of the best cars. The AAA person told me it's one of the most towed cars that he had. I mean, this is not AAA stuff. This is his experience. So I just want to be clear about that. He said, yeah, that's one of the cars that he tows the most. I was like, well, I said, I thought, not that I was going to get one, but I thought that. He said that and Kias. He said, but Kias is because they are stolen a lot. And so he usually gets recovery calls for them. So that's not a maintenance issue, I guess. Or is it? I don't know. But he said those are his two most towed vehicles. I was like, well, so that is interesting. I know, right, Dee? Look, that's why I said I'm keeping my that's why I said I'm keeping my rim. I know he ain't expect to say, that's why he was like, oh, but he sent me a picture of it, and I sent the picture to my daughter's boyfriend to say, because at first I was like, this looked like a tire. He probably was like, oh, shucks. But he told me, he said it is the rim and it's cracked. So it's like, okay. Now I just want to make sure it's my rim, because I know my rims. I know my tires. So he better be giving me back mine. Because I'm like, if you keep everybody, you could just give me anybody's rim. It better match everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad. I was like, oh, while I'm waiting because I had to wait for them to fill out the paperwork for the loaner car. And I was like, oh, let me go into the Mercedes. This like fleeting thought came in across my mind. Like, let me go in here and look around. And I thought, nope, don't go in there and look around, because you mess around and walk out with a new car. And that's what you don't want. I want to pay off my car that I have and be like I was with my Maxima. Don't have no car payments forever, really. I mean, I will be honest with you, my car is not giving me any problems since I've had it, other than just the maintenance is just, and the upkeep is just expensive. That's all. But I haven't had any problems with it. So I can't complain about it in terms of like, it's not always in the shop. I've had it for 4 years. I haven't had any problems with it, honestly. So I can't complain from that perspective. I have not had any problems. It's just when you have to do the routine maintenance, it's just very, very expensive, in my opinion. Way more than I ever had to pay with my Maxima, which I loved, and it also did not give me any problems. They need to do better. When I see, the other thing, like when I watch these, hey Sabs, welcome. Right, exactly. Look, Angel, that's exactly what they're gonna do. That's why I'm keeping my rim. Because guess what? If they could do it, I could do it too. Because I am that frugal person. Look, I will tell you, like, I'm the kind of person that I always try to like reduce my costs. If I could do it on my own, like there was a long time ago that I was doing, what is this? It was like these protein shakes or whatever that they were like kind of advertising for people to like be fit and health. It was like, and I was like, I'm going to be a distributor. I had no intention to sell it to anybody else. I just did it so that I could get my stuff at a discount. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did, because I was like, if you're not going to make money off of me, I'm going to make money off myself. I'm going to save money. And I've always been that way. Like, I will mess around. If I knew I had a car that, like I do have that like broke all the time, I would learn how to fix it. That's just me in general. Like, if I had time to do all the work on my car, I would be doing it. I would not be relying on them to do it. I'm like, you can never make more money, enough money to not want to save money. That's the way I feel. Okay, so I'm making my crosses. This is probably too many crosses. Now I think about it. But it's okay. It won't take that long. But yeah, part of me feels that way too. That's why I try to, you know, have a relationship with those people. So hopefully they won't. But at the end of the day, it's a business and nobody can be underestimated. Nobody can be underestimated. That is for sure. So you are 100% right, Angel. You just got to be mindful. And that's why I said I'm keeping my tire. I know he wasn't expecting me to say that, but that's exactly what I said. And I meant it. Give me my tire. It's mine. It's worth all that money. And I want to have it. If they could repair it, then so can I. That's the way I felt. You know, he was probably like, let me go find a tire. It's like this one. Well, let me crack this rim. She coming. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I got all my little crosses. You can't really see them because they're yellow, but I'm about to start sewing these things on down. And this should be quick. Oh, oh, good, they're black. I was like, what color is my thread? It's black. And this is going to be the inside anyway, where I'm doing this. So yeah, that is, and I'm gonna tell you, like, it's so crazy because my youngest daughter also had a situation recently where her tire actually exploded on a car that she just got. So this literally happened probably like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, what in the world is going on that both of us would have tire related issues in a short period of time? And she just bought her car. So that happened. And I was like, her tire was defective. That it just exploded while she was driving. So that was crazy. That was really crazy. So as I was mentioning earlier, like, I got rid of all those clothes. It feels so good to have and I've still got a little bit more work to do to organize and get rid of stuff, but it feels good to be able to like look at my closet and be like, oh, I want to wear, like, I found so many clothes that I haven't seen in forever that I'm now going to be wearing because I organized it. And let me show y'all what I made. So I told y'all that I got my 3D printer, which I just started playing around with it this last week, even though I've had it for a while. And oh my goodness, I just love it. It's like a little Christmas making machine that, like, anything you want, you can literally make it. So as I was like, organizing my closet, I printed, what if I could do it? I printed out all of these like hanger, it's the wrong way actually. These hanger pieces. So I have like a hanger in my closet, and then I put this on there and I can hang another hanger from it, and then I can put another one on, and it lets me like basically extend my clothes so that they can hang down. And so I have more room because I can hang stuff down. And it was like, oh my goodness, it was the best thing because now my clothes are like squished. So when I want to find something, I don't have to like press it out. I have everything kind of like layered and I can actually see what is in my closet. So that was like one of the first things that I made with my 3D printer. And it's just so, I don't know, it's so cool to be able to just need something and be like, oh, I could just make it. It's just like the coolest thing. So I have like a list of things that I'm really making. Like one of the things I'm like organizing related stuff. So I'm right now designing a little shelf to go into. I have this cabinet and it's like not the weirdest design. Let me say that. It's a drawer, but the drawer is like this tall, like from this desk up to here. So when you put stuff in it, the stuff usually comes right here, which leaves all this space up here because it's probably meant for like big items. Like I don't know, my blender even is in there and it's like this short. So you still have like all this space. So I'm making a shelf so that I can basically put stuff down the bottom because you pull the shelf out and you can see everything on the side. And so I'm gonna put like a shelf in there so that it splits it in half so that I have like stuff at the bottom and then I can put stuff at the top too. So I'm like, increasing my like space that I have. So I'm excited about that. So that's something else that I'm making. Well, I haven't designing it right now. I haven't made it, but oh, you know what I just realized? Oh, that I didn't decrease this. So that's going to be interesting. So yeah, so I'm like looking at a whole bunch of stuff. I said, look, everybody's getting a 3D gift this year, 3D printed gift. You said you're glad I'm used it. Yeah. Look, I was like not nervous about using it, but I was like, I have to put it together and I have to do this and I have to do that. So it was in the box for a while. And then in fact, it's like over here, you could kind of see it a little bit. This is part of it right here. I put it on my sewing table desk. Oh shoot, the needle came out. So yeah, I'm really super excited about the things that I can make, the things that I can do with it. But I'm also trying to be mindful. I don't want to be wasteful and make stuff that ends up ultimately going into the trash or the landfill. So I'm trying to also be mindful in that regard too. Come on now, stop playing with me. Come on, thread. Okay. I'm like, well, all that I could just manually thread it. All right, here we go. Oh, you know what? I know why, because it's not in the highest position. There we go. I was like, why is this not staying in here? There we go. Hi, Diane. Yes, the vertical hanging. So I'm just really happy about it. I feel like that, and it also gave me like enthusiasm with reorganizing my closet and putting everything together. So the thing that also freed up a lot of space is I took all my comfort. So I love the comfort sweatsuits. And in the wintertime, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm home, I am wearing the comfort sweatsuit, period, because I like it. But they take up a lot of space. So I got a bin, and I actually need to really, I probably need to shrink, not shrink wrap them, but put them in one of those bags and kind of like shrink them down because they take up a lot of space. But I got a big bin and put them in there, and I'm taking them to my storage to put them in for the summer because I'm like, and all these like formal dresses that I have, like that I bought to wear to like people's weddings and things like that. I'm like, I'm not getting rid of them because I like them and maybe I'll wear them again, but they don't need to be in my closet. I don't wear them regularly, and they're just taking up space. So yeah, I got a lot of space now. No, that's wrong. That's a lie. I have space for the things that I have, which is I have a lot of space because things are in their proper space, and things that shouldn't just be laying around are now in the closet. So I'm happy about that. Very happy about that. So what I'm working on now, just for those that might just be joining me or wondering, I am doing the quilting stitches for our bag. And I actually probably did more lines than I should have. So that is what we're working on right now. On these stitches. I've also started back on my kind of, I'm easing into it, but you know, eating more healthier, trying to be a little bit more active than I have been, getting back on that kick. Because I'm going to see the Ravens play in Rio and taking a little vacation in the end of September. So I'm like, okay, I got a couple months to get myself together. Because I want to be able to be my most fit self. And so, I mean, I feel like I could drop 10 pounds between now and the end of September healthily. I think I can. So my goal will be to do that. And I already, so this is the other thing, right? I have, you did. You just made a few. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you're here because if I run into some problems, you can help me. Because this is my first time making this. Did you do the quilt stitches in yours, Lynette? All right, we did all the one direction. Now we're doing the other direction. Or did you skip that step? And we're doing it, we're not printing out the patterns, or I didn't print out the patterns. Because I feel like it's boxy. Like you just get the measurements and go with that. That's how I feel. I'm like, I like that, you know, we have options. I was on my, I don't know if do you all follow Aisha the Great, like, who does like a lot of upcycling and stuff? She just posted a YouTube video saying she was ready to teach herself or learn how to sew. And I was like, good for you. I love that for her because, she's like the way she upcycles stuff, it just gives me so much inspiration. Sometimes I look at her something like, how did Aisha wear this? Or what do I have something in my closet that is similar to something that she wore? So I was happy to see her say, I'm gonna teach myself how to sew. So she's about to turn her whole fashion world up, like it's about to be a major glow up, because she already, like, the way she takes stuff from the thrift shop and Goodwill and like makes you take a new look at it. I'm like, I would have never thought. I would have walked past that 10 times over. And then you see her make it into like, oh, I would have bought that. So her name is Aisha the Great with an 8 in, I think it's Aisha the Great. I think that's what it is. But she's very popular, so I'm sure y'all probably have an idea of who she is. You made a double zipper pouch on Wednesday, or yesterday. Made a double zipper pouch yesterday, and a double zipper pouch on Wednesday, and it came out cute. I know it did. I know it did. I know it did. Well, I'm just glad that you're here, because if we run into any problems, you can help guide us out. But hopefully we'll be straightforward. And I don't know if you were on Lynette when I said I got the ballpoint needles. I ordered like 1 billion of them. After last week, I was like, oh, Lord. I do love the quilt effect. This just looks, it's like even before the bag is put together, I can tell that it's going to be so nice because of the quilt effect. I feel like it also just makes it look a little bit more professional, in my opinion. I was like, what is that? I'm gonna have to wipe my sewing machine down. I got chalk everywhere from these lines. Yes. You say you just lazy. Yeah, look. Well, you're going on vacation tomorrow, so you got your energy is somewhere else. You like, I need these for practical reasons. This is not about being cute. I got to be ready and be able to pack my stuff. I just like the fact that like, because you sew, you have that ability. Like, you don't have to buy stuff. You can literally say, you know what? I need a bag. I need a makeup bag. I need a toiletry bag. I need, a garment bag or whatever, and I'm gonna make it. Like, that is next level. It's like, it's almost like, you know what? Oh, tell me what y'all think about. We didn't talk about this. So tell me what y'all think about this. I don't think we talked about this. Tell me if we talked about this last week. But so it's on the same topic of DIY. So I was on YouTube last week or the week before last. I can't remember when, but there was a nail technician on there. She was so upset that at OPI because they came out with their own, a DIY or kind of do-it-yourself gel nail kit. And she was just like, basically her story was, we made you rich and now you sold us out by creating this DIY. People aren't coming to get their nails done anymore. And she was just pissed. She was using every kind of curse word you could think of. She was upset. And so then, of course, all of the DIY girlies who then ordered these kits, or maybe just were like supportive of the fact that they exist, Oh, they came out of the woodworks, and they were like, look, y'all told us, talking about the nail technicians, y'all told us that if we didn't want to pay y'all prices, we should just stay home and do it ourselves. And now that we've opted to do it ourselves, so it was, one person said, so not only did we hear you, OPI heard you, and they gave us the ability to be able to do it. So don't be bad now. You the one that told us to go home. I mean, do it ourselves or whatever. And it was just hilarious because like all the DIY girlies came out and guys and were like, oh, we're so happy to have this. Meanwhile, I literally just had like a rant about how I went and got my nails done, and I think I told y'all my daughter had put me on to like the press on nails that look like real gel nails, by the way. So I'm still going to get my pedicure, and I'm going to get my pedicure, and it's like $100 for a pedicure. And I'm like, what in the world? Why is it $100 for just the pedicure? So I like just was, ranting about that. And one of the people has said the reason why people aren't getting their nails done is because it's too expensive. Like I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 next year, right? Yes, I'll be 50 next year. And I remember when getting your nails done, and this is a long time ago, but I remember when it used to be like $25 for your manicure and $25 for your pedicure, and and when like $70 and $80 was like expensive. Now you can't, I mean, it's been for years now. I've been paying like $150 to get a manicure and a pedicure. Well, after watching all them videos on YouTube, apparently people are, and I'm not talking about even, I don't get anything fancy. I don't get no designs. I'm just plain, just the basic. This is a basic. So I just want to be clear about that. I know that there are people that pay hundreds of dollars that get the fancy nails and the extension. Like, this is my nails. Don't look at them now. They look a mess, but I don't even have any edge. I like my nails cut down to the skin. I don't like it because my nails grow very fast too. And I'm like, oh, I like my nails cut down. So we're talking about they're doing the least. I am like the date that doesn't drink alcohol. This is like the cheapest, like they're spending the least amount of time, least amount of effort to do this. And it's still, I walk out of there, it's $150 for my manicure and my pedicure with no extras. So yeah, I was like irritated because I'm like, I imagine if I got something, real, like what would that be? That'd probably be like $200, $250. So anyway, little old me, I went and got the OPI thing. I still haven't playing around with it. I haven't really explored it that much, but I went and got it. And I'm like, how did I find it? Because that nail technician who was doing her rant, I'm like, she got all these millions of followers. She probably got all these people like me who never even heard of the OPI kit. Now, because of her, we all heard about it. We probably went and bought it anyway, So anyway, I don't know if y'all heard it. You say you pay yeah, look, but you get all those extras. I wonder how much it is at your shop for the just regular nails. You get a lot of fancy stuff, which again, so that's my thing. If you get fancy stuff where people are doing their art and taking their time, yes, I feel like you should pay for that. I am literally getting a polish, a manicure, the cuticle, whatever, all the stuff, a little bit of hand massage, and a polish. Pedicure, paraffin wax, and a polish. I'm not getting nothing fancy. Well, I do have a American manicure, but still. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Them press-on nails, I don't have any on right now because I was trying the OPI thing, and I put that base gel on my fingers. That's why I think my fingertips. And then I started doing other stuff, and I think it picked up other colors from other things. So I have to clean it off. But anyway, yeah, look, the press-on nails is it. That is it. And they last like 2 weeks, 2+ weeks. Okay, so we've gotten our quilt piece done. So now that we have our quilted piece, let's see, quilt the fabric together however you like, easy straight line. We did the cross stitch. Okay, so now it is telling us to to cut our pieces basically in half like that. So that is what we are about to do. We are about to cut this in half. But we're not using the measurements that they have because, as I mentioned earlier, their measurements are based on that the measurements they gave us for the quarter of a yard, if that's what you use. We did not use that, so we cannot use that. So this is the 16. So we're going to do it at the 8 mark. So I'm just making a line at the 8 mark all the way up. And then we're going to make a single line and cut. And then we'll go from there. Why does this thing look like it's not lining up? That's good enough. That's good enough. Hey, Lala. Welcome. You said it would be 120. So yeah, for is that just for the manicure? Is that for the manicure and the pedicure? Because I was paying 150 for a manicure and a pedicure. That's before the tip, mind you. So that's what I was paying before. So I feel like they went up on their price when the pedicure started costing just $100. Like, really? That's what we paying for just the pedicure? Like, that's what we doing? So I was just like, wow. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I was like, I got that little kit. I was like, if I have, and my problem is the time. That's my problem. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I have time for anything. And that is the problem that I'm going to run into. Because I barely had time to go to the nail shop. So to think I'm going to be able to have time to do it myself. But what I did say I was going to try to do is carve out some self-care time, that just my me time, and try to make sure I can do it then. That's what I think I'm going to have to do in order to make sure that I can do it. But the kit was like $50, maybe $60 at the most. And you can do your nails like a dozen times. So you definitely gonna get your money's worth. Now the question is it gonna look like you went to the nail shop, or is it gonna look like you got your 5-year-old to do it? That's gonna be the question. But I suppose like anything else, you get better the more you do it. So I will keep y'all posted as to what happens with me. Okay, so we cut it in these 2 pieces. And the very next thing that we are going to do is, let me see, what is this? So this is 13. Oh, actually, it did work out. That's crazy. I don't know. I must be losing my mind. Okay, 13. So actually, I'm going to be honest with you. It actually does work out. This is 13 instead of 12 and a half, which makes sense because I did make it a little bit longer. And this is 8 instead of 7 because I also made this a little bit longer. So I lie. It matches up. Okay. So let's see. Now what it is telling us to do is it is saying each one of our pieces, you're going to hold it this way. And you are going to draw a line that is 1 1/4 inches down from the top, and then from the bottom 1 3/4 inches. So 1 3/4 inches, I'm gonna draw a line right here, and 1 1/4 inches, I'm gonna draw a line right here, and I'm gonna do that on both pieces. I'm actually not watching her video. I am doing, so this is it's called the Boxy Zipper Pouch Pattern, free and fat quarter friendly. And so she has a video, but I didn't watch it, but she has written instructions. So I'm just kind of going as we go through each step. I'm just looking at the written instructions. So right now we're at the second. Oh, it went back to the top. But this is what it looks like if you're looking for it. And so right now we are at the part that says second round of cutting. And so we just cut those two pieces in half. And now we are putting on those lines, which we are going to use to help us cut the shape of our box, or of our bag, sorry. So that, again, the top is 1 1/4. Oh, here's my thing right here. And the bottom is going to be 1 3/4 inches. So 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So did you make this one, Lynette? Is this one of the ones you made? Hey, Dorothy. I don't know if I said hi to you earlier, but I'm saying it now just in case I missed you. So I'm drawing our point so I can make our line with the top and the bottom. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wrong. One fourth, 2/4, 3/4. Yeah, that's right. One fourth, 2/4, 3/4. Okay, I've made my line a little bit not right. Okay, there we go. And then this one. All right, so I did this one. You can kind of see it. This one's dark. Now I'm going to do this one. Same thing. I'm going to have to throw this thing in the wash machine, all this chalk. And okay, this is the bottom. This is the top. Right? Yep. So 1 1/4 at the top. and 3/4 at the bottom. You said no, not this one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, we're going to see how this one. So for the zipper on this, they recommend a purse zipper. But because I feel like I have a really good matching, you know, fashion zipper, I'm using that. It's my pouch. I can make it I can do it how I want. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And let me just draw this line. So once you make these lines, then, oops, let me make sure. Come on now. Okay, so here's, ooh, clues. Let me put this back in. Okay, here we go. So once you make these lines, you got that line at the top, line at the bottom, if you can see those two, those yellow lines. Once you make those lines, then the very next thing that you are going to do is then you are going to make a line 3 1/4. So between that top line and the bottom line, you're going to make another line that's 3 1/4 from the side, from this side in. So we're going to make another line like right there and then like right there. So I'm about to do that right now. I'm about to measure 3 1/4. Here we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. 3 1/4. Ooh, wrong thing. This is okay. So then I have that line right here, this line right here. Oh, where is it? Right here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other piece. Okay, same thing over here. 3 1/4. Okay. Now, I didn't put this in your instructions, but you need a ruler. You said use fashion zipper and just made sure it was longer than the width to give you more room. Yeah. So let me show you my zipper. This is the one I'm going to use. Because see how it goes so well with that? So this is the one. But yes, that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. Okay. So now it says, then measure and cut 2-inch pieces from the top edge. Top edge should now measure 8.5 inches wide. The bottom edge should still be 12.5. Oh, it says, then measure and cut two 2-inch pieces. Okay, here we go. So basically what she's saying is here, I'm going to measure 2 inches over here and then cut. So I have like a little box, basically. The picture helped me. And you're doing that on the top part, which is 1 1/4 inch. So I'm cutting 2, make it 2 lines, and but maybe I'm skipping some part. Oh yeah, I did skip a part. Sorry. So we are, before we cut those 2-inch boxes, we're actually going to cut those 2 rectangles out that we cut earlier. So I'm cutting those 2 rectangles. So here's one of them. I'm gonna cut this other one. Okay. Ooh, put that over. So here's our 2 rectangles for the one, and we're going to do the same thing on the other. It says, do you have a lining for it? So it's 1. Oh, you mean like, do I have like another? No, I'm not putting anything extra. I'm literally just going to leave it 1 fabric on the inside, 1 fabric on the outside, and that inside fabric is going to serve as the lining. I'm not adding any extra like pieces, if that's what you mean. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking me, but I'm not adding anything extra than this, the outside and the inside fabric. The inside fabric piece is going to serve as the lining, if that's what you mean. Tell me if I'm answering your question correctly. Okay. Come on now, don't give me a hard time. Okay, so here's our other 2 squares for this piece. Oh, you made it in a faux line and you didn't line it. Yeah, well, because the inside of the leather is, I think you have that option. You don't necessarily have to line it. Okay, so this is what we have left after we cut out those boxes. And then we are taking a 2-inch piece on either one of these sides. I've already drawn those lines, and I'm going to cut that off. So here is that 1 2-inch piece. Here is another. So this is what it looks like now on the other side without all the lines. This is what it looks like on this side. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Make me a 2-inch piece. Okay, I'm not going to wood because I thought I was going to have more problems than I am having. I'm very, very happy with how it's going. Okay, So here is, guess the same thing on the other side. So now that we've done that, the very next thing is, it says, okay, we repeat it on the other pouch side, which we did. Okay, it says, use a long basting stitch to sew all of the way around the quilted pouch side pieces. So they're talking about these pieces. So we're just basically going to do a basting stitch all the way around. So I'm going to do that now. It says, I would love to make one for my machine. Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, I actually do have a case for my machine, but I've never put it in there. But if I ever had to travel with my machine, this would be the kind of case that I would love. Like this right here and this, what is this? Animal print fabric. Oh yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. You would not be able to tell me nothing. So these are going to be little pockets. No piece of fabric has went wasted in the making of this bag. The estimated time, what time is it? Oh, we already at that time. The estimated time to make this is 1 hour and 20 minutes. We are clearly at 1 hour and 20 minutes already. But y'all know I'm slow, so I think you could totally do this bag. And if you, especially if you knew what you were doing, like Lynette, how long did it take you to make yours? You probably made them really quick, less than 1 hour for each one you made, I'm sure. I also notice sometimes when I'm not on live, I make stuff faster. Maybe because I'm not distracted, because we were talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. All right, one more to sew, and then we're done. So, well, sewing this around. Oh, you said about 2 hours. Okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad. Maybe we'll be about the same. Okay, so we have sewed around the perimeter of all of these 4 pieces. Okay, so it says, use a long basting stitch so all the way around, base 1/8 inch away from the cut edges. I think we did that. And then it says, from the rectangles of the quilted fabric that are left over, cut 2. Well, what is those rectangles? Let's see. Oh, I guess, okay, so we're only using 2 of them for the pockets. You don't need all 4. Oh, you know what? That's not what she meant. Okay. She meant based around these. So we are going to still use these pieces. So 2 of these are going to be pockets, which we've already sewn around. Oops, what happened? And then 2 are, it says that she wants us to fold. So we're going to actually finish this and then we'll come back and I'll sew around those edges. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So it says, from the rectangles of the quilted fabric that are left over, 2 strips that are 1 inch by 3 1/4, and 2 squares that are 3 by 3. So what are these? This is 3. This is 3. Okay, so here we go. So this is already like 3. So then I just need to make this 3. Okay, here we go. 3. That's 1. This is 1 pocket. And oh, no, let's use this end. Okay, so now we have our 2 actual pocket pieces. I don't know what those other 2 pieces are. I guess we'll figure out what we're using those for. Lynette, I might need you to help me figure out what I'm using those other pieces for. But anyway, these 2 pieces, and then it says, so we have 2 squares. These are the side pockets, which I thought these were it, but these are something else. And then 2 strips. So 1 inch. I feel like is this 1 inch? No, this is 2 inches. So we're going to make this 1 inch. By cutting them in half. 1 inch. This is what's left. Okay. One inch. Okay, so we have this. And I'm actually not going to, because I think we put basting. So binding. Use the leftover fabric, not quilted, to cut the following binding pieces. You can use fabric from either fat quarter or different fabric entirely. And so I feel like, let me see if I think I actually have, oh. Is this black? Does that look black to y'all? No, that looks like it might be gray. Oh yeah, this looks black. Oh yeah, that's black. Look at that. That's black. So we are going to actually use some real binding tape because one, it's a great accent, and two, it saves us time. We don't have to do all the extra. So that is what we're going to do. Oh, so you say you like the pocket feature. So this is by SEW SewCanShe.com. SEWCANSHE.com. And it is the boxy zipper pouch pattern, free and fat quarter friendly. Okay, so, oh, you know what? This is why I still have this in here because it's single. It's not double, which we don't like single, but it's okay. It is what it is. So they are telling us to sew the binding pieces to the tab. Let me make sure I can replace this. Oh, I think they're just, so basically you're putting a piece of binding on this side and this side, the two long sides. So since this is single binded, I can't do it the way I would normally do it. So I'm just basically doing it like that. And I'm going to sew this on because it's not double binded, which I prefer. So I'm going to do a nice little edge stitch. But before I do that, let me wipe off. Let me just wipe off all this chalk on here. It's all this chalk in here. I don't know that I get it all off, but it might be better. All right. Okay, let me sew this on. So I'm basically doing an edge stitch. All right, here we go. I don't know if this will be okay, but we'll be fine, I think. We'll see. It will make it do. So I'm putting the second piece on. Come on now. This would have been so much easier with double folded bias tape. This is single. It's still working. Just got to make sure that piece stays in there. Okay, I think that was good. This is not what I envisioned, but it's not bad. All right, let me show y'all this. So that's what it's going to end up looking like. I thought it would have more of the animal print showing, but it's okay. It's not the worst thing. So we got that, and now we are going to, this wants us to do the same thing with, I just need to see what, okay. We got to do the same thing with the pockets, but we're just doing it at the top. So just one at the top, as opposed to the tabs are getting it at the top and the bottom. Sorry, I just gotta see this one little piece where I didn't finish it. Oh well. Okay, so now we are doing the same thing just at the top. So this shouldn't take long at all because we're only doing it at the top of both pieces. So I think this is making, this black is making a beautiful accent for this animal print. Hey, Terrence. Oh, the net. Yeah, you know that. So this, I'm assuming this is where those, all of those, the ones you did came from, or maybe the boxy name is just a, maybe that's just the name of all these types of bags. Okay, here we go. I'm just trying to get this in here, making sure it's really in here. edge covered. Yep, that looks good. Okay, now I'm doing this other side. And then we got to just repeat this one more time on the other pocket. Okay, so that's what that would look like. I think that's cute. And now we just have to do it one more time. I'm actually going to cut this, make it a little easier. Cut that little extra off. So then it lays in here because we ain't got that much room. Okay, here we go. Let's get it. Stop playing with me and act right. You said no, that's the name of the. Okay, thank you. I thought this was the designer's name. Thank you for that. Okay, so we have finished both of these pieces. These are our pockets. I did this one on the wrong side, the outside, but that's okay. We're going to throw it in the wash machine anyway. And then we finished our tab. I guess they want us to have a tab on the other side too. So I guess we got to do one more little piece on both sides. And then I think repeat the bind, repeat to bind the top edge of both pocket pieces. Yep, we did that. Okay, so there's that. Let me just put this piece on. There we go. I suppose that if you don't do these binding pieces, it will definitely be faster if you don't do these binding pieces, but it seems to be going along. We're not having any major issues. But let me finish it before I should have finished it before I said that, because just when you be thinking, oh, it's no issue, then that's when the thing gets stuck or something. You know how it goes. Y'all know how it goes. All right, one more side down, then we'll be ready to move on. to, I think, oh, you know what? We have to put the stitch on all around the main pieces. Then I think we'll be ready to sew it together. So that's what we're going to do next. That's what we're going to do next. So anybody working on sewing anything right this weekend? I forgot to ask that. I'd love to know what y'all working on, because sometimes I go back and look at the chat, so I write it down in real time, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Let me sew that too. So I love to hear what y'all are working on. Okay, perfect. Now we got, are you serious? Did I put this thing on backwards? Okay, we about to be with one tab. I did put this thing on backwards. And I'm about to cut it right off. Oh, we're about to cut it right off. Why? We're about to just have one tab on one side. Oh, why? Why did I do that? Y'all see what I'm doing? Getting us back on track by cutting this thing off. Okay, there we go. All right, now we got to sew our one more piece on there. Why did I do that? Okay. You say you're cutting out pants to make your mother. Okay. 82, 23. I'm going to write that down. McCall's. You know what's so crazy? So I literally, and not that I'm not going to make anything, but any more garments, because I just said I have to spend some time. Like I need to go a couple months without making something. When you make something every week, it's easy to have a lot of clothes when you make something all the time. And sometimes y'all know I'm making 2 of the same things. So anyway, I'm in there trying on my stuff, and I put on this dress. I have to figure out what the pattern is. I absolutely love it. I'm like, how could I have only made one of these? How? I'm gonna show y'all the dress before we get off. Because I have a live for it. So I'm gonna show y'all the of the dress. The thumbnail so y'all can see. Okay, that's better. I'm like, what was I thinking? But I'm like, if I'm putting that on my top of the line, we're gonna make that dress again. Cause that dress, I tried that thing on. I was like, why was this back in my closet? This thing was so cute. Okay, so we got our other tab. Here's what it's going to look like on the outside, like that. So we got our 2 tabs. We got our 2 pockets. And these are, I don't know what we're using these for. I don't know. Well, I guess she'll tell us when we get to that part. But I am getting ready to sew around these outer pieces. I mean, our main pieces with a long stitch. So that should not take too long. A longer stitch, rather. Not a basting stitch wide, but we don't want no problems with our bag. You don't want no problems. So I changed my, I don't know if I told you this, I changed my setting so that, I don't know how I did it. I don't remember how I did it, let me say that. But I changed my setting so that it, when I push my presser foot to go up and down, it keeps the needle in, and I love it. That has been such a time saver for me to do it that way. God forbid I ever want to switch it back because I don't know what I did. I have to Google it. Okay, who else? It's a lot of clothes. Yes, it is a lot of clothes. Oh my goodness, Terrence. I was in there cussing myself out. Like, why did you make 4 of these? Why did you make 3 of these? For the first time, I gave stuff away to Goodwill that I made. I had not been giving my stuff away. I was giving away everything else, but I was not giving away my stuff. I had to. I had nowhere for it to go. I can't even tell you how I was improvising in my house with all these clothes, but I had to. I was like, I'm feeling like a hoarder at this point. I'm like, I don't have a problem. I need to prove to myself I don't have a problem. So I had to get rid of stuff. And I had, like I said, I had 3 industrial size bags. 3. Those big, huge contractor bags that you get from Home Depot, 3 of them full of clothes. 3. So that's why I said I cannot make another garment. I have to go a couple months without making any garments because I don't want to go back to that space again. And then I'm like, even when I start sewing again, I might have to be making clothes for somebody else. I might have to get one of my daughter's measurements and just start making clothes for somebody else because I'm like, I just got to the point where I can look at my clothes and not have to be like, what is in here? And clothes layered on top of clothes and folded on top of clothes. Like, I just got to that point. So I'm not trying to go back. That's why part of why I didn't wear the half of the stuff I had, because I didn't even know what I had because it was all covered up. So I was like, I cannot do that again. That is not a good place. So I gotta say, like, for every, and I think I actually hadn't said this before now that I'm thinking about it, but I think I said at one point, for every clothing I make, I'm going to give something away or give something to Goodwill. And I never did that, which is how I ended up with all these clothes. But I will say that, yeah, I'm definitely going to, slow down a little bit and make some other things other than clothes. Like, I was like thinking to myself, I'm thinking about redecorating my living room, and I have big pillows on my bed, in my living room, on my couch. Like, maybe getting, making some pillow covers to go, because my pillow covers come off, I can wash them and stuff. So, or I was thinking, maybe even making like when I kept my grandson for that period of time, I bought from the store couch covers because my couches are light colored. I bought some light colored couch covers that I could take off and throw in the washing machine. I was like, I probably could make these. I'm sure there's a pattern out there somewhere. Okay, so we finished on that piece. And so now let's see, where are we? Okay, so this is all about the hem around the pockets. I think we've made it to attaching the zipper. Have we made it that far? Let me make sure we didn't skip any steps, because y'all know I'm notorious for skipping a step. All right, okay. We have not skipped any steps. So what it is telling us is we are about to attach the zipper. We have made it to a milestone in our work, and that milestone is attaching the zipper. So the way we are attaching the zipper is we are going to be attaching it to the shorter end of our pouch, and it's going to be right sides facing. So one of the things that they do is they do cut and pre-stitch the end off. We will cut the end after we get to the part. So basically we're going to center the zipper. So this should be a 9-inch zipper. So let me at least draw a line where we will eventually cut so we can know where to center the zipper. So it should be a 9-inch zipper. So we're going to, I'll make a mark here. Use this pencil. I think I can write on this with a pencil. Yes, pencil does fine. Okay. And so that would make the center of this 9 inches right here. Okay. So we are going to center, and this right here is, oh, this is also 9 inches. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Look how that works. It just went right in the center. So there we go, like that. And then we are going, so we're actually going to do it the other way. So this right side should be facing down to the right side of the fabric. So actually we want to do it on this side because this is going to be the inside. So let's see, center the zipper across the top edge of one pouch body piece with the top of the zipper facing down against the right side of the exterior fabric. So this is the right side of our exterior, which it doesn't matter because in our case, it is the same. So this is what it's going to look like. And we are going to be stitching, I believe, across Okay, there we go. Sorry. As usual, you say, yep, you have stuff boxed and bagged up, ready to go. Yes. Look, I'm telling you, I'm traumatized. I ain't gonna lie. I am totally traumatized, Terrence, by what I just experienced. Because I should have never had that much stuff. I was like right next to being a hoarder. It was that close. It was that close. Okay. It really was. It was that close. And it should not have been that close, but it was. And so I'm just like, I can't go back there. And I imagine probably most people who sew have had this experience. I would imagine that most of us have had this experience. But I'm not going back. So that's why I'm like, I have to do something else. Okay, so it says, let's see. Center the zipper across the top edge with the top zipper facing down. Pin or clipped it in place. Okay, we have done that. And then switch to the zipper foot, which we're not going to do. And yes, so we're just going to sew across this top. That's what I thought we would be doing. And that is what we are going to do. Let me move this to the side. now we have this piece on, and let me just do a double stitch at this top part. Okay, and now that we have done that, it says, let's see. And now it says, flip the piece over, carefully trim 1/8 away from the seam allowance, cutting the fabric and foam only, not the zipper. I'm like, what am I going to cut from there? It is already very little, because you only have 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, but I guess. Let's see. This is before. Okay, yeah, they're cutting even that little piece. So let's see. We're going to cut a little bit, because you have very little to cut, honestly. I guess it's just to make it less bulky in the end. But with 1/4 inch seam allowance, you really don't have anything to cut. I guess you're cutting it down to 1/8 without cutting the zipper. So the zipper will kind of like show at the edge like that. That's okay. So now that we have done that, oh yeah, it says cut 1/8 away. So yeah, so you're leaving 1/8. And then it says fold the zipper away from the panel and finger press the zipper tape against the, excuse me, the back. So they want you to do like this. Let me see this. Like that, basically. Excuse me. Covering the trim seam allowance. Top stitch. Oh goodness, they want us to do a top stitch across there. That is something. That is interesting. I guess it'll make it lay down more and better. So I'm doing a little top stitch here. But my thing is, what is it going to tie? What is it going to stitch onto? Because you cut everything away. I might pick this out because I realize now I'm using black thread, and that's not probably looking as good as I would want it to look. But I can see why they want us to do it, because it does kind of make it lay down a little bit, but it's not pretty. So I'm probably going to take it out. But either way, I'm going to pick it out in the end because I think it won't matter for right now. Okay, so now that we've done that, what it is saying is they want us to place this face down on the other end, right side. And now we are going to sew our zipper onto the other side. Basically do the same thing that we just did. Oh, okay, I'm just moving the zipper the zipper foot out the way. I'm sorry, the zipper pull out the way. And then you should do that top stitch because I think it will make a difference in the end. But I'm not doing it because I don't feel like switching. I don't know if I have this color thread, but I don't feel like switching threads out because I didn't pull it out ahead of time. Sorry, I'm just pulling my zipper pull out the way. Oh, maybe I just pull it down. I'm gonna pick that other black stitch out because it's going to irritate me to see that black stitch in there. Okay, and now that we've done that, we're going to do the same thing with cutting away that piece 1/8 of an inch. Part of me is like, should I use this? Oh yeah, that's so much easier. But it's very hard because you don't have that much fabric to cut in the first place. Okay, I think. When you're cutting away this little teeny bit, I mean, it's like very little. I should have probably turned it over. All right. So this is going to be the outside of our pouch. Now what we do need to do is, this might be a little bit off. Okay, that's even on that side. And then make it even on this side. Then I'm going to just basically create that closure by stitching back and forth right here. But before I do that, let me just clean up this space, get rid of all this. Okay. Let me see. So I'm just going to go over this again, back and forth a couple times. And then I'm going to cut off the rest. All right, I just did 2 rows that way. I know I don't have any problems. Okay, so here is, see, this is where I kind of stitched it and then I did it right there and then I left a little bit extra right there. Okay, so we have done that. And Now let's see where we are. Okay, it's doing a top stitch, which again, it's top stitching it. I'm not doing that. In fact, I'm going to, not right now, but I'm going to take out that other stitch because I don't like the black on top of the gold or whatever you want to call this. I don't like it. So I'm going to take it out, but not right this second. Let's see. Okay, it says sew and bind the boxy. So we are boxy pouch bottom seam. So we are taking, let me see, that's the right side. So this is the wrong side. So basically we're taking it like this, wrong side's facing out. And we are going to be sewing these bottom pieces, but it's showing us clipping them together. So it says with the pouches, right sides facing, pin or clip the bottom edges together. So that is what we're getting ready to do, is take these bottom edges and we are going to clip them together. And then we are going to stop. Then it says bottom edges together. Sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that is what we are about to do. So we're going to sew right across this bottom 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, we did that, stitched around the bottom, and then it says fold the 2.5. So it wants us to do a binding strip at the bottom. Why do we do that? I guess to have not a raw edge. Okay, I'm about to sew this on here. So this is basically to cover this raw unfinished edge on the inside. So that is what I'm about to do right now. Thank you, Lynette. Oh, you said pull the zipper, pull to the middle. Okay, I would do that. Thank you. That's right. So I could turn it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for reminding me. Very, very important. Okay, here we go. Now, depending on what you use, you know, you could be sewing through very thick, all these layers. I don't have that problem because I'm not using super thick batting or anything like that. Mine is pretty thin. Even though I am using 2 pieces, it's still pretty thin. But just be mindful. If you do make this and use it super thick, okay, so I just did the first stitch and now I'm about to make an attempt to pull this over. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go because, again, it is super. It's not the double-sided, it's one-sided. But either way, I think it'll be fine because I'm just going to make shift. So this is where that thickness actually hurts me because it doesn't kind of go over like the way it normally would with a piece of thin fabric. But it'll be enough. I think I'll be able to get the binding tape around it with some little bit of effort. I think this is going to be a super cute bag. Ooh. And I think I'm giving this away. I think I'm going to give it to my daughter. One of my daughters. For coming to help, probably my oldest daughter, for coming to help me with all this clothes and stuff I had. All the stuff I had. I had stuff to go to stores, stuff to go to Goodwill, trash. Whew, lots of stuff. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like on this side. This is what it's going to look like on this side. One side is a little bit smaller than the other. Why? Because this is single fold bias tape and not our beloved double fold. That's probably why I was still the only black one in there. But it's all good because we're going to make it work. We are going to make it work. There we go. Oops. Okay, we are so far so good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, don't you do it to me. All right, we made it. Oh, okay, we got that binding. That we stretched the hell out of that single fold binding, but we got it on there. We have gotten it on there. It's on both sides. It doesn't look bad, I don't think. And it's on the inside anyway. So, like, not who cares, but who cares? Okay, flip the binding over to the other side because we already did that. says press the bottom of the bag to flatten it and make the seam fold on one side. Let's see, but they're doing something right here. Okay, flip the binding over to the other side of the seam. Stitch close. Okay, but then they're doing something. Press the bottom of the bag to flatten it. So this would be the bottom of the bag. You need to press it to flatten it. I'm assuming that's... Maybe we need to open this whole thing up. So that we can press the bottom. This is what the outside of the bottom of the bag. This is the inside of the bottom of the bag. So we're going to press it to oh yeah, they're pressing it on this side. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it is pressing. It is laying flat. Okay, that's the flat bottom of the bag. Pretty flat. Okay, now that we have done that, it is saying, okay, press the bottom of the flat. We did that. Okay, add the optional pull tabs and pockets. Okay, so where are we putting those? It is telling us to put those right here. So here is, so we're sewing them to the inside. And then I'm assuming we're going to flip them out. So like that. And then it'll be flipped out. So we're going to sew, add the optional pull. Okay, so here what it's telling us. So we're going to put a clip right here. So this is the inside. This is the right side of the tab. And then we're going to do same thing on this side. Where's the other one? Here we go. So I probably need to cut this other one too, because that looks so much easier. Okay, so that's the other tab. I'm trying to line it up so that the little piece, not that you'll be able to see it because you won't, but that'll be the center. All right, let me just cut this. Okay, and okay, so that's the tab. Excuse me. Okay, there's the tab. And now we are going to why did we do that? Just want to make sure before I sew across these little pieces. Okay, we did the zipper. And come on now. Let's get to, okay, here we go. Okay, we've clipped them on like they've told us. We're still keeping it on. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they want us to keep this all on the wrong side. Wrong side out. Ooh. Oh yeah, okay. We got it on the wrong side. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, keep it on the wrong side. Let's see. Keep the patch on the wrong side so you can work on the ends that extend for the sides. Fold the tab piece in half. Okay. Pretty side out. Pin. We did that. Make sure to pin or clip it to the exterior fabric on. Wait a minute. Let's see. Wait a minute. What are they saying? Oh, they do want us to put it to the exterior. Okay. So I was wrong. We're going to put it to the exterior. I guess because when we fold it all together, it will still be, the raw edges will still be in the seams. Now, where are we putting these pockets? So I switched it. It's on the outside, not on the inside. This is the inside, and this is the outside. So I put them in here. So we are going to sew them up right there, attached to the outside. Oh, I guess this is going right here. I'm assuming. Yep, okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to sew these pockets on at the same time, and we are not. Okay, so I'm sewing across. I have the tabs on the outside, right sides facing each other, and I am sewing across. Ooh, wait a minute. And I'm actually going to, because this is so thick, I'm going to go over it twice. And now I'm doing the other one. Same thing. Woo! It broke. The needle broke. Or no, it didn't. It bent though. I didn't like that. Yeah, did not like it. So we gotta change that needle. The needle bent. It said, oh no. It said, what are you doing? It said, no. Get somebody else to do it. And we will. Look at that. Can y'all see that? That thing said, at least it didn't break, fly off and hit me. That would have been a nightmare. Like, do I need to wear protective goggles when I'm sewing? Okay, let's try this again. And this time maybe a little bit slower. That was crazy. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Lynette. Hi, Gaynell. How are you? Thank you for joining. Sorry, I'm just seeing that, but I appreciate you being here. Oh, both of these are on, so maybe it was happening during my back stitch. Okay, we're going to leave that like that. Okay, we got the tabs on. Now it's telling us to take, which is weird. Okay, it's telling us to take these pockets. Slide the pocket piece underneath each of the tabs. Okay, we got that. Where am I? Slide the pocket piece underneath each tab. The bottom hemmed edge of the pocket should be, well, the bottom edge of the pocket is not hemmed. You did not tell us to do that. Why it, because she did not say, and this pocket does not look hemmed. Let me just see. I'm just looking at this, y'all. Is that hemmed? It is. I don't remember her hemming any pieces, but we might have skipped that. Okay. So with this pocket piece, it looks like they might have done like a fold under. But what are they doing? Are the raw edges hemmed? No, just across the bottom. Okay, so we're going to do just a full, we're going to create a hem for this bottom. Because it looks like it's only the bottom, and the raw and the sides are still unhemmed. Probably because they will be, excuse me, they will be included when we sew up the final. So I'm going to do a quick little stitch for that. I'm going to do this. Same thing on this side. Okay, so that's the fold, and now I'm going to, part of me feels like I could just fold it under and just stitch it. And I think that is what I'm going to do. Okay, that is what we're going to do. So back at it, here we go. I am sticking this under. Let me just show you this. And now I'm going to sew that bottom part where the fold, the hemmed edge is. All right, Lynette, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have fun on your vacation. Can't wait to hear about it. All right, so we are folding this bottom. We're sewing this bottom on. And just being extra careful when we go across. Okay, we got the bottom part on. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Same thing. All right, we got it. Both sides are sewn on and it looks like a raw finished edge. So now we are going to sew the bag side seams. I think this might be the last. So let me just do what Lynette said. Make sure we have the zipper half open so we could turn it to the other side. And let's see, how are we doing that? Oh, it's saying we might need a heavy duty needle. Okay. So pin or clip one of the top side edges of the pouch. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, I could see that. That's going to be. So this part that's like super thick. So we'll see. I think I do have a heavy duty needle, but we're going to clip all this together. Ooh-wee. Now I see exactly why they said you might need a heavy duty needle, because this thing is not to be played with. It's very thick. So I'm just basically clipping it all around to make it just a smooth, make our ability to sew it together just very smooth. This is going to be super thick though. And I might actually, part of me feels like I should cut these extra, the pockets stick out a little bit further. Part of me feels like I should cut that. Let me see what this side's looking like. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be so thick. Pray for me. My box might be a little bit deformed, but it's okay. Yes. Angel, yes. It is like you can barely see here. And it's crazy how we're all the way down in Maryland and those Canadian fires have just really kind of taken hold. It's like in the morning, it's really bad. And then it kind of does, the smoke dissipates a little bit during the day, but it's still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that actually looks pretty good. Okay, I like that actually. All right, now I figured it out. So that's that. That's that. It's crazy, really. So this is it. Once I sew this on, we're going to turn it. And I think we will have we will be done. Now I see why they call it the boxy, because it definitely is a box. It's taking shape more. I will show y'all in a minute. Oops, broke. Okay. So I have it all clipped. I'm going to basically, it's like a L and then it goes down on either side. Same thing on this side. And then we are going to turn it right side out. So pray for me. There are some parts in here that are really thick. So we're going to just take our time. That's all we can do. Just take our time. We are probably like a good 5 minutes or less from being finished. Ooh-wee. Lord help us. Let's do this. please. Please. All right, I think made it through 2 sections, kind of, hopefully. All right, now let's do this part. You got to kind of do it in sections almost, because it feels like it will not. That's done. I hope this is going to be right. Maybe. Okay. Now let's see this part. Oop, no. Ah. Okay, that did not. Let's try from this side, this angle. All right, I think we may have finished one side. I think. Now this piece, not so. Almost. All right, now we'll to the other. Oh, did I do this? Nope, I didn't. All right. All right, one side. Okay, we finished one side. Now we just got to finish this other side. We are almost there. It's surprisingly, this needle is tolerating the thickness is a lot better. All right, so there's that. Now let me go across. Now this is the thickest part across the top. It's the pocket and the tab and all of the pieces, but the zipper. And I got half done. I'll try to go in from this other side. Looks like we gotta do a side at a time. Okay, the needle didn't break, but it got unhappy. All right. And we just have this part. Making good progress. Something is stuck under there. I don't know what it is. What is that? All right, I'll figure this out because we are almost done. So we are going to finish this. And then I'll figure that out. Okay, so we got this one little part to sew on at the top. Oh no, we did that. Okay, we did that. So we just had these corners, the little box pieces to sew. That's it. Oh, I gotta sew this other half right here. So let's see if we can get this. Oh, no, something is it going backwards? Oh no, it is getting unhappy. All right, we got one little part to sew, this other little part, and my sewing machine is not happy. I think it does not like all these layers. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm keeping this clamp on because I have my other two little box pieces to sew, but just in case I can't fix it, we have enough to kind of show you. So this is the wrong side right here, just so y'all see. And here is going to be the right side. There we go. I'm carefully kind of turning it, so I still have to sew little pieces, but I think I can push it out enough that you will see it is a little box. So cute. Okay, now I see why why it's kind of important for you to understitch so that you have your zipper kind of lays flat, but it's not a huge deal, but I could see. Okay. So you're not going to see the full box because I still have to finish this side of it, but this is kind of how it's supposed to look. Here's your little pocket piece. You can stick something small in there, maybe a lip gloss or something. And then here's your tab where you could hook it onto something. Here's the other side. It looks the same, but I still have to sew the two diagonal pieces once I can figure out what's going on with my sewing machine because it's not happy. But this is the other side of it. So if this gives you any idea of kind of how that box is going to look, how it'll look on this side once I finish sewing these pieces. There's clips on the inside right now holding them, but when they're finished, they will look like this. It will look like on this side. And so here again is your little pocket, and here is your tab. And then we have the same thing on the other side. Here's the pocket. You can't fully see the square shape yet, but it will be there. And here is the little tab on that side. And it's a little purse, a little square, but I like it. It's super cute. And the inside looks like the outside. So here's the inside of it. Looks like the outside. So I still have to finish this one side, but it is super cute. It turned out really, really cute. So I'm going to fix my sewing machine. I'm going to finish sewing up the square on this side. And yeah, I think that is it. And I will probably change the thread and do an understitching because I can see why they told you to do that. I think it does make a difference when your bag is open. When your bag is closed, the zipper lays flat, but when your bag is open, the zipper kind of turns weird, turns back out because it's not a lot of fabric. So it kind of turns out like this. But once you close it, then it is fine. It works out perfectly. But yeah, that is the bag. This is the Boxy bag. It's on Sew Can She, Sew, S-E-W, Can, C-A-N, she.com. And it is the Boxy zipper pouch. And you don't need a pattern. In fact, you could literally probably do whatever size that you wanted to do in this. And she does have a pattern if you want to use the pattern, but you don't have to use the pattern if you don't want to. So yeah, that is pretty much this bag. I'm going to finish it and I'm going to probably do the understitching. In fact, I am going to do the understitching since I'm doing it off camera because I could take my time and do it. And I'm going to figure out what's going on with my sewing machine so I can just finish those two little corners to make the box shape like this on this side. So the one thing I will tell you, and she does say this in the instructions, that you definitely want to have a strong 100/16 needle, or I think 90/14, which I think all of mine are 100/16 because those are ones that are more thick, or most of mine, I would say, because that one broke anyway. Because the thicker the fabrics that you use in all of those layers, you will definitely, as you saw, my needle bent, and that was nothing but all of the fabric. And so also will say so slow, because that is what I did after my needle bent, and I didn't have any problems after that. So that would be my only recommendation. And she actually says all of those things in her instructions. So with that, thank you all for joining me. I can't believe it's been 3 hours, but it has. And I appreciate all of you staying here on while we sewed this boxy zippered pouch. It is super cute. And she says it takes 1 hour and 20 minutes. Probably does if you don't do the cross stitching. But yeah, so we spent a little bit of time doing that as well. But anyway, I like it. I'm going to probably give it to my daughter once I fix it up a little bit more. But yeah, super cute. So I hope you all make it. Thank you so much. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Yeah, and I will see y'all next Friday. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Lady Angel. Thank you, Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you, Gaynell. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you. Hi, thank you, Sabs. And let me see who else is here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for joining. I know you had to hop off. Thank you, Anthony, for hopping on. Terrence, thank you for hopping on. So yeah, I will see you all next Friday. I hope y'all try to make the bag. Bye, everyone.
Let's get social. Come and sew with me.